dim lighting. Silence, the camera slowly moves around the room, showing a normal interior. Couch, TV, a boarded-up window. Amir C., a young man in his late 20s, sits on the couch, anxiously listening to a radio broadcast. The signal is weak, but a distressed voice is heard. Radio, ... stay inside, ... avoid contact with the infected. Government forces are overwhelmed, ... this is not a drill, ... A faint noise outside makes Mark tense up. He grabs a baseball bat, cautiously peering through a crack in the boarded window. The street is eerily silent, except for a lone figure stumbling in the distance. Suddenly, a text message appears on his phone. They're inside. Mark's breath catches. He turns sharply. Nothing. But then, a slow creaking sound echoes from the hallway. Mark quietly moves toward the hallway, gripping the bat. He checks the front door locked, the windows secure. A shadow shifts in the darkness. Then, thud, thud. A violent pounding at the door. ... Mark's pulse races. He peeks through the peephole. A blooded hand slaps against the glass. Suddenly, a growl comes from inside the apartment. Mark spins around. From the bathroom, the door is slightly ajar. Something moves inside. Mark cautiously approaches the bathroom. He pushes the door open. Inside, his roommate Chris is slumped against the tub, sweating profusely. His veins are dark, his breathing ragged. Mark. Chris lifts his head. His eyes are bloodshot, his lips trembling. Then he lunges. Mark barely dodges, slamming the door shut. Chris bounds against it, snarling like an animal. Radio static. Symptoms include fever, aggression, loss of cognitive function. Do not let them bite you. ... double quotes. Mark stares in horror. Chris is turning. Mark knows he can't stay. He gathers supplies: a backpack, water, a knife. He texts his best friend Lucas. I need help. Are you safe? A response comes instantly. Don't go outside. They're everywhere. Suddenly crash. The bathroom door splinters. Chris is breaking through. Mark rushes to the fire escape, but the alley below is crawling with zombies, trapped. With no other option, Mark dashed through the apartment, kicking open the back door. The hallway is a disaster. Doors are shattered, blood smeared on the walls. Moans echo from every direction. At the stairwell, he encounters his neighbor, an old man, terrified and clutching a shotgun. Neighbor, you don't want to go down there, kid. They're waiting. Mark hesitates. Then bam. Chris bursts from the apartment, charging. The neighbor fires. Chris collapses, motionless. Neighbor, you better run. Mark bolts down the stairs. Mark makes it outside only to find chaos. Abandoned cars, fires, bodies littering the sidewalks, and the dead hundreds of them roaming. A siren blares in the distance. Helicopters circle overhead. Suddenly, his phone vibrates. Lucas. Warehouse. Safe zone. Come quick. Mark takes a deep breath and starts running. Mark sprints through alleyways, avoiding main streets, but the undead are everywhere. He ducks into a convenience store, barricading the door behind him. Inside, a woman, Claire, aims a gun at him. Claire, you're not bit, are you? Mark. No, just trying to get out of here. She hesitates, then lowers the gun. Then we better move. Mark and Claire make their way to the warehouse. Lucas lets them in. It's a makeshift survival base filled with people. Lucas. I told you not to go outside. Mark looks around. The survivors are exhausted, armed, and scared. They have food, supplies, and barricades. For a moment it feels safe. Then, a scream, someone inside is turning. Panic erupts. People argue should they kill the infected before they turn. One man, Jason, suggests locking them in a storage room. Others disagree. Tensions rise, guns are raised. Claire, we can't turn on each other. That's what they want. Suddenly, bam, a gunshot. Jason kills the infected person. Everyone goes silent. Lucas, we need to get out of here before we all lose our minds. Night falls. The moaning of the dead grows louder outside. Lucas pulls Mark aside. We can't stay here. We leave at dawn. Mark nods. He tries to sleep, but nightmares haunt him. He wakes up to banging on the doors. The barricades are failing. The warehouse is under attack. The doors burst open. Zombies pour in. Survivors fight. Bullets fly. People scream. Mark grabs a crowbar, smashing through the undead. Lucas gets bitten. Lucas, you know what to do. ... double quotes. Mark shakes his head. He can't, but Lucas grabs Mark's hand and forces the gun into it. Survive. Mark hesitates. Then bang. By dawn, the warehouse is in ruins. Most of the survivors are dead. Mark and Claire escape through the back, covered in blood. Exhausted, the city burns in the distance. The dead still roam. ... Mark, where do we go now? Claire tightens her grip on her weapon. Somewhere they can't find us. They disappear into the wasteland as the camera pans up. A helicopter flies overhead. A faint voice on the radio. If anyone is alive, head to the mountains. There's hope. Fade to black.